Hello, welcome to the Trade Game channel. This is Daniel. It's January 13th, and we are here to talk about trading cryptocurrency. Specifically, we are talking about grid trading, and today we're going to talk about trading currency called SXP, Solar. And so this is one that we may be opening a bot on soon here. I'm thinking about, that is. So there's some speculation, or looking at just this Binance chart. If solar does do well, as we hope it will, over the next year, we may see it return to challenge some of these previous highs that it was at from the last cycle, around $4.50. $6, $5, $6, something like that. But we'll have to kind of see. This is the weekly chart for SXP. It looks like in terms of this last year, we had a big green candle back in March. We had a lot of interest in the market around that time, and we got up to about $1 and then topped out, and we've been sort of just hanging around the 20 cents to maybe upwards of 60 cents range since then, in terms of our weekly candles. So yeah, that's what we look like weekly over there. But I'm going to go back to my my Blofin chart, just because that's my exchange that I use that's accessible to U.S. citizens, but it doesn't necessarily go back as far as Binance's does. And so I think that if we're going to grid trade this one, we've been in this area for a while. We could at least grid trade it up to this high that is set during this earlier stage of our bull market here. So for at least for now, we could speculatively say we could trade it up to grid trade up to $1, or perhaps up to like $1.80, or maybe $2. I don't know. $2 would be kind of right around there. I don't know. I'm not sure. But at least for the time being, we could grid trade it up to $1. That's where it's been ranging under $1. And so it'll sort of be, if it does go up above that level, it'll be a high for it. Highest high it's been at in quite some time. And in terms of just having enough money to be able to make the bot, I think that up to $1 is probably pretty reasonable in terms of what we want to play with here. Yeah. So that means that if we're going to speculatively start this, we'll be talking about going along. And I don't know how far down we're going to go. So let's say 25 cents. And we're going to go up to $1. And we do not know what our liquidation value will be, so we'll leave it right about there. So that's where our grid would be on this chart, and we're just gonna say that. So I think, I think $1 is pretty reasonable. Pretty reasonable high end for the grid here. So how far do we want the low end of the grid to go down? Well, I mean, just off the top of my head here, if we're going back as far as the chart will let us on Blofin, and we can go back even further here if we really want to. I think though, yeah, I think our lowest low for SXP so far has been 1624. About the same here. Yeah. So we could set the bottom of our grid to be. It wouldn't be a terrible idea to set the bottom of our grid to just be the lowest it has been historically ever in the history of the currency, which is about 16 cents. So we could start use that as the bottom for now, and this will have to go lower to 10 cents or something. So that'll give us our parameters that we could perhaps use to start a bot for this guy, right? So if we were to create a said grid, going down to, we said 16, right? Yeah, I thought we had, okay, I made a mistake somewhere. Oh, my dogs are barking. Okay. There we go. Yep. So if we were going to estimate our liquidation value, the maximum grid lines that my exchange will allow me to use, I don't know what it's like for everyone else, is 200, and that's what I'm going to use for this one. It'll take us down to about 0.38% profit at the lowest, up to about 2.5% profit at the highest, at the top of the grid. Whereas down at the bottom, it's more like 0.3 or 0.4, but that's fine with us. And okay, and what kind of leverage do we want to use? I don't know what sort of leverage we want to use. I'm going to go with 8, since that's what I've been using lately. And we will set this up with this much money. Alright, 16 and $1 maximum number of grids, because I'm beginning to believe that's the way to go. We could do, I don't know how much leverage we really want to use. If I have this set with 10 times leverage, which is the default leverage that my exchange offers for these, it's giving me an estimated liquidation value of like $0, of like no liquidation value, which is a little bit tedious because that's not super useful for our purposes, because the actual liquidation value with 10 times leverage would almost certainly start out being higher than that. So it's just saying that in the exchange's estimation, there should be no liquidation value. The price action should be enough that it should accumulate enough margin to secure itself on its way down. Although it's kind of, that's an awfully tall promise for the exchange to make us. And obviously these bots do get liquidated sometimes, otherwise the exchanges wouldn't be able to make any revenue off them. But and well, anyway, that's not true. They would still make revenue. They make revenue off of the trading fees and the interest on them. But they certainly do also usually charge a liquidation fee and stuff like that. So it's the exchanges are making money no matter what happens with our projects here. So I'm going to suggest these settings, and I don't know what kind of leverage we want to use. The exchange says that with 10 times leverage, it should not be we shouldn't have liquidation value. I don't necessarily believe that to be true. So my initial thought, and what I am still thinking here, is that something more like 5 or 8 times leverage like 8 times leverage might be better. I don't know if that changes our calculus in any significant way. No, 8 times leverage would still work with the, yeah, no, we can do 5 times or 8 times or 10 times or whatever we would like, actually. Um, so we can kind of have a little discussion around that, I think. Uh, and then we'll then have to pick a trigger price, decide where we think we want that trigger price to be, um, and start doing kind of some more uh, research into, do some more technical analysis for, like, not on the weekly chart, but on the daily and hourly chart to sort of figure out when we would like to enter a long position on solar uh, with our bot, and then we can start tracking it. Um, so yeah, this is the Trade Game channel. This is Daniel. Thank you for watching and listening. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions, comments, complaints, concerns, or if you just want to chat. I do check those, um, and I do read them and all that good stuff. Uh, so yeah, God be with you. Please be good to one another, and I will talk to you later.